Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's live stroll, second one of the week. And as you can probably just see, it is quite nippy this morning. I didn't think it was going to be. The first thing I woke up to this morning was a fog alert, saying thick fog. Well, there ain't any thick fog, is there? So I don't know quite where that weather alert's come from, but yeah, it's certainly one of those that I looked out the window and thought, oh, what we're going to go into this morning, because I knew we were going to come out and do it. It was just whether we were going to do a live stroll or not. So we're just doing a nice leisurely live stroll this morning. What we're going to do, we're going to go, we'll probably just do the normal stroll what we've been doing this morning. Some good news is, although I wouldn't say it this morning, it feels quite tight, but my leg is gradually, I think, beginning to feel a little bit better. Now hopefully that is the case, because I've had a full storm with it already. Just bear with, guys. I've had a full storm with it a few weeks ago, and I think because of that I began to push it, and I'm not going to make that same mistake again. So I'm just sort of going to continue doing the short strolls for now and just see how it goes, and hopefully it'll get there. You know, there are serious conversations at home about whether we needed to me needed to go to the sort of walking centre, and maybe that still is an option if it doesn't get better. But yesterday, considering I had to go to hospital myself, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, was probably the best day up until literally just before I went to bed. It's quite extraordinary. It was perfect pretty much all day yesterday, and then literally just before I went to bed it started sort of hurting again. So yeah, we just have to keep an eye on it. But as long as we're getting out, exercise for me, exercise for Azra, that's the main thing. If you are new to the channel, do make sure you like and subscribe. It does really mean a lot to the channel. Just keep an eye on Azra, because she's just doing her business now. So I'm just going to sort that out, guys, and then we'll carry on. But yeah, if you are new, do make sure you like and subscribe. We're out every other morning at the minute, doing the live strolls. We'll try and do a longer one at the weekend, just depending on how the old leg feels. And we'll go from there. So just let me put you down for a minute, guys, and we'll just sort out Azra, and then we'll be back on. Azra. Right, come on over. Good girl. Right, sorry, we're back on. Apologies for that. As I say, if you are new with us, do make sure you like and subscribe. So it does mean a lot to the channel. So yeah, in regards to, I got a phone call from the hospital just a couple of days ago, actually. Not a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago. And saying that they wanted me to go and have my eyes checked. Now, to give you some sort of backstory to this, guys. 2 years ago I went for an eye test, a normal eye test, and they said they found some sort of pigmentation behind my eye. And I said, yeah, you'll we're going to need to refer you to the hospital because we're a bit concerned about it. Fine, no problems at all. Didn't hear anything for 2 years. I'd forgotten about it. So it was quite a surprise when I got the phone call a couple of weeks ago, but I thought I should go. I asked if anything I needed to do, all that sort of stuff. No. Got there, they said, we're going to dilate your eyes. But are you driving? Yes, of course I'm driving. How do you think I got here? Well, we can't do that. They can do lots of other stuff, which they did do. They said the next time you come, which will be 6 months to a year, you'll need to be accompanied by someone. Well, if you'd have told me that, I'd have known. And I'd have brought someone with me. Come on, Azra, good girl. This is why I ask these questions, for that very reason. So, and there was nothing in the instructions, because I checked that as well, just in case you speak to someone on the phone that doesn't know what they're doing. Good morning to, is that Jan? Sorry, Jan, the writing on this phone is so small. Good morning to you. The point is, everything's looking okay, no problems. They were able to look at the records from a couple of years ago, and then obviously yesterday, and everything is exactly the same, nothing's changed. So from that point of view, all good. So we'll move on, and we can cross the road. We'll move on. Now, dog on the other side, just bear with me, guys. Wait, excuse me. Enough. Wait. Good girl. That is how she is with other dogs, guys. A lot of the time, you don't always see it, but that is how she is. And that was no good for my leg, Azra. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll move on. Those that have followed me will know I'm quite a big Liverpool and Formula One fan. So there's much to talk about. I'll start with Liverpool because I can summarise that a lot quicker. But they won at the weekend for the first time in a long time. I just still don't think they look brilliant. Okay, 3 points is all it matters about at the minute, getting back on the bandwagon, as it were. But yeah, we'll see how they go tonight against a team that are flying very high in the leagues in Sunderland. It is at Anfield, so you'd expect performance to be on Liverpool's side, but we just don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll watch this space. Your heart says Liverpool, your mind says it's going to be tough. And unfortunately, my mind is what I have to go with at the minute after watching them this season. We shall see. I love Golden Labradors. They're lovely dogs. Really, really friendly. We had one as in the mum and dad's family home. Lovely, lovely dogs. In fact, James grew up with her. Well, didn't grow up with her. We didn't live at mum and dad's. But every time we went round there, he would see her, and she would just lay there and let James play with her, pull her about. Not nastily, but you know what kids are like. And she would just take it, and they are such a good temperament dog. In fact, Azra is half beagle, half Labrador, in answer to another question that's just come through. So in other words, Labrador size, beagle colour. Very difficult to see when the light's like it is where we are. And I will warn you guys, it will go a bit dark down this next little bit we're going down. Because we're sort of between the residential area and the science park. Hopefully Azra's little torch and mine should be enough to sort of give us enough light for now. There is light the other side, you can see it, but just not enough. Come on, Azra. There's no light currently. Good girl. It's been such a shame that the lives have had to sort of not happen as often recently. Those that have been with me before will know we were live every day prior to Eurovision, and we did go through a phase of being live when we come back as well, but to the detriment of my health and my leg, so I had to reduce it. Although we've been trying to come out every day, it's not as much fun when you're only doing sort of the short blasts. Although we have had a few people on this morning, which is nice, and a bit of interaction, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll come to the end of this path now, guys. And this morning we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to go back on ourselves, so alongside the science park, we're going to go around the other way. The worst thing is when we see a security guard that Azra knows, because he always wants to stop and talk, and it's not always ideal when you're doing a live. But anyway, we shall see. Yeah, this is the science park. During the pandemic, there were still people here functioning because they were doing a lot of work with the masks in here. So yeah, there were lots of hive of activity. Is that a Star Wars throwback? A hive of activity? I think it was, wasn't it? Han Solo, Tatooine, the first Star Wars, Episode 4. So going on to the Formula 1, well, we've got a title decider at the weekend. Everyone keeps saying, oh, it's very much. Lando just has to finish on the podium to win it. Yes, mathematically that's exactly what he has to do. But in practice, you know it's going to be tough. Things are going to be happening during the race that you just can't control. I bet he wishes he had a race like last year, this weekend, where he just drives off into the sunset and wins the race. Because that's what he needs, really, to keep away from any shenanigans that may go on, but we'll see. It is definitely a McLaren track, and it is definitely a Lando track more so, just like I said. Qatar weekend just gone was an Oscar track, and I called that very early on, and I was proved right. I've been watching Formula 1 for a long time, guys, and I sort of know what I'm talking about. And I called that very early on because you just knew from previous years he'd absolutely love that place. We might see some Christmas lights this morning over here. I'm not quite sure what we're going to see, to be honest. But we'll see some. Yeah, we can see some Christmas lights along here, over there in the trees. There was a certain security guard, I haven't seen him over here for quite a while, that always, he does look quite pretty, I must say, always used to give Azra biscuits. I say, I haven't seen him for a while, but every time she sees a security guard over here, she thinks it's him. And it isn't, it hasn't been him for a while. So whether he's retired or just given up, he was quite an old chap, to be fair to him. Then we've got some Christmas trees over there as well. So yeah, not bad, little picturesque stroll this morning. I am suffering a bit with the old leg, so I will be pleased to get home. I think I might, do you know what, I might sit on this bench. There's a couple of benches here. Azra, come. Wants to go and see the ducks down at the pond. In fact, I think I might sit out across the road, get out of here away from these ducks that are to my left that she keeps on wanting to go and see. So in a minute we're going to be going across this path. In fact, I think I'm just going to cut across. I'm not going to worry about the chicanery. Come on, Azra. Azra? Here we go. Come on. And that's what I want to touch on. Obviously this online hate that's happened with Kimmy Antonelli as well. Thank you for another like, I do appreciate that. I'm sort of pausing because I want to be very careful of my words, because quite frankly it's absolutely outrageous what's happened to that young man. Do you know what? When I've been doing this, not just the lives but also the shorts, and to a lesser degree the vlogs, but when you're doing it and you're watching someone else's, and I've never done this, and I can honestly say I've never done this, when you're watching someone else's vlog, you might shout to the television or even to yourself, what a load of old rubbish this is, or disagree with an opinion, but I would never go on there and openly be hateful towards someone else, because I wouldn't want it done to myself. And I've had it as well, where, you know, people have put stuff on. Oh, this bench is getting even worse. Right, Azra, that way. Good girl. Just going to sit down, straighten my leg out for a minute. And good girl. It is wrong that another person thinks, just because they're in the confines of their home, internet cafe, park, whatever, that they can say and do what they want. It is outrageous, and there's just no place for it. You know, social media is a platform, and I heard a phrase just this morning: social media can be used to bring the world together, not divide it. And I think that's a very, very powerful statement, because it can, if we use it in the right way. But if we are all, and let's not say the majority of people are very, very good, decent people, but there is a minority that are very hateful and think they can say and do what they like behind the screen. And do you know what? The only time I've got into a little bit of a conflab with someone on social media is on Facebook, and it wasn't hateful, it was just factual comments that both parties wanted to make about a certain situation, and you know, it was fine. You know, both people got their points of view across, and that was the end of it. But when you get people going on someone's social media and abusing them, and you know, saying all the nasty things that have been said, he's obviously dulled his face out, gone black, all that sort of stuff. He's an 18-year-old kid, and I think people need to remember, you know, people at all ages are vulnerable. We'll go, come on, let's go. People of all ages are vulnerable, and the younger you are, perhaps the more vulnerable you are. Yes, he has good people around him, and I'm sure he's been well looked after, but it's still the point, isn't it? People should not be doing that sort of stuff. Thank you for the time check. I'm fully aware of what time it is in the morning. So yeah, I just think in conclusion to that, just be careful what you put when you're messaging or even speaking to people in any walk of life. Just be careful what you say, because it isn't always nice what people do and say. So yeah, who do I think is going to win the World Championship at the weekend? I think if all the cards fall right, it's got to be Lando, hasn't it? But I think everything's got to be as near to perfect for him as possible. be honest. And the reason I had to get up then quite quickly, guys, from the bench was the postman was coming with his 2 dogs. And they're nutters. Absolute nutters. And you could see how she reacted because she saw it was them. So yeah, we're quite lucky to have got away with that without much shenanigan, to be honest with you. I think another 5 seconds would have been in problems, to be honest. Okay, so we are going to call it a day for now. We are almost home, and as with everything, the later you come out, the more people you see. So that's always been fun. Right guys, enjoy your Wednesday, whatever you're up to. Azra's certainly enjoying hers, sniffing about whatever she's sniffing. And we'll reconvene, if not tomorrow, definitely Friday. Cheers guys.